G'day everybody, welcome to this online presence critique of a hotel website. Today it's actually the Andara Resort and Villas located in Phuket, Thailand. In this video I'm going to be having a look at their website. I'm going to be talking about specifically what I like and what I don't like about the website and what can be improved. And really the point of this video is to show you why a custom built website, in other words a website that is built by a web designer, someone who creates and codes the site from scratch and doesn't use a template as the basis for that website, can cause a whole lot of problems and issues with the site, which in my opinion isn't really worth it in the long run. So with a custom website you've obviously got the flexibility that allows you to really code anything you like into the website, and with that comes a large degree of latitude for the developer to design the website perhaps in a new, interesting or different way, none of which are particularly helpful for the end user who is used to a certain experience when they go to a website. So what I mean by that is, let's go to the website here. It's the andaraphuket.com. Nothing wrong with the URL there. It's a great URL for an international hotel like this, a .com. As the website comes up, you'll notice it's it's a little bit slow to load, but that's because of the heavy use of images. It's also because of this slider they've got on the front of the page. You can see down here you've got a number of slider images there that are having to load, or it could be they've set them to lazy load so they don't need to load until you actually click on them, but right now it's still probably downloading those images in the background. Now as we bring up the site here, you'll notice that the navigation hamburger icon is on the left hand side here. The hamburger icon is essentially the navigation for the menu. Now on this particular website the designer has designed it so that the hamburger is the main menu. The problem with hamburger menus is that on a desktop situation or even in a mobile app, they are not as good as just simply showing people in a tab form or some sort of other display what the contents of that menu is. So study after study has shown that hamburger menus are not as easy to use from a user experience point of view as simply having the contents of that menu along here in a tab or some other menu structure. So if we click on that, you'll see two things happen at once. You get all these menu options appearing down here. You also get the reservations that appear on the right hand side. The problem with that is if you don't click on that menu, there's actually no button here for reservations. There's no button here to book directly with a hotel. That is unusual for a hotel marketing website, and it's definitely not to be recommended. You should always have, in fact it should be the most prominent thing on your hotel marketing website, should be the button for a direct booking or reservation. On this particular website there's no such button, so it's missing the number one thing that a hotel marketing website should have, and that is a prominent book now, availability, whatever you want to call it, which makes sense. That should be the most prominent thing, and ideally it should be in the top right hand corner or the top left hand corner, depending on your opinion as to whether people look from the left to the right. I actually prefer it on the right hand side. It's also closer to your thumb if you're on a mobile device, but this website's missing it completely. So the only way you can access that availability is to click on the menu and then come across here and then start entering your dates here to see the availability and to check the rates. A good thing is I've got this best rate guarantee icon here. That's a really good idea, and that should be if you do have a best rate guarantee, if you do offer that sort of thing, which is a great idea, then that should be prominently shown on the website, which it is. So that's great. Let's click off there. Actually, when I click off there, you'll notice that those still stay there. So I actually can't click off there, and I can't go back to this text here. Obviously, I have to click on it wasn't obvious to me, but I have to click on the cross here to close that menu. You'll see they've got translations here, which is fantastic. They've got Russian and they've got Chinese and they've got English translations. So that's great. Definitely in this type of market, this sort of hotel, that is very wise. The good thing about translations these days is that they can be supported on almost any platform, such as Squarespace or WordPress, will all allow you to have this kind of / setup where you click on China, and then if you actually go to the URLs there, you'll see it's got a / CN for China, and you've got all your content replicated there, but in Chinese and Russian. So that's great. Again, it's very prominent. But let's have a look at some of the other elements of the site. I may have to change to English here to actually read this. Let's have a look at this bottom bar along the bottom here. Now this is super busy. This is there's a lot of stuff here, a lot of icons. Icons are great in a sort of multilingual environment like this, or an international type website, if they actually make sense. But a lot of these icons don't make sense. For example, I believe that's Weibo there, which is a Chinese website. Unfortunately, if you click on that, you'll notice that it actually goes to passport.weibo, and it goes to nothing. So that's a link to nowhere, or a road to nowhere, that icon. That could perhaps be changed so that, well, firstly, it should be set up so it actually works. Oh gosh. Then, obviously, if you click on the CN, you may hopefully see social media that is applicable to the Chinese market, and same with Russia. You may see social media icons there that are applicable to that market, rather than just having all these social media icons along the bottom. Now, the most obvious mistake that could be easily fixed here is they've got location in Kamala Beach here, and they've capitalized that. And of course, all the other links there are not capitalized. This looks like someone has had access to the CMS, or the back end of the content management system, and has just decided to add that without thought about the design of the site. So that's something that obviously could be very easily changed, and it just looks out of place. It just wrecks the whole look of the site, and I'm sure the designer that designed the site would be aghast to see that. Let's have a look at these other options here. 360-degree tour. So the tour loads, and it's called a 360 virtual tours. Pops up here, and I don't seem to be able to actually activate it or do anything with it. I assumed there'd be some sort of icon or thing I could rotate here to look around. I see there's a menu option there. I'll try that. Okay, so this is actually an entry page. So all of these entry points should have been listed obviously here, so you could navigate straight to it without having to click on the menu button. So let's have a look at the 4-bedroom pool suite. And I assume now we'll be able to look around as it loads the 360-degree tour. Okay, it's still loading. That's fine. So we've got a 4-bedroom pool access, private infinity edge pool here. And yep, as I suspected. Now you can see the problem with these tours. They're just very nauseating. As you're scrolling around, you've got to be very precise with the mouse. Otherwise, you kind of feel like you're on a ship on the sea, and you're going to get seasickness or something. Not a great fan of 360-degree tours. I mean, your photography should be able to show everyone who's on the website what you offer. Oh gosh, it's nauseating. But it's a beautiful property. Certainly, it's worthwhile being able to see inside it. But I do believe that could be done with photography. And of course, the question is, does this actually even work on mobile, which is going to be more than half of your visitors to the site? So close that down because it's annoying. Let's have a look at the photo gallery of the Andara. So this goes to, yes, it goes to a separate page here. Looking at the photography, I believe it's loading. So look at the photography. The photography in general is pretty good. They've obviously chosen a nice sunny day. Okay, it's just the whole navigation of the site which is difficult, and of course you can't even see the photos because of this thing here, which is on top of it. So again, it's a little bit annoying. So it is actually scrolling through the photos, and technically there's nothing terrible about the photos that I can see really. It's just the design of the website, which doesn't let the photos speak for themselves. It doesn't let the photos actually stand out. Whereas if you were using a Squarespace platform or platform that really emphasized the photography and allowed the photography to shine, then that would come through. Let's have a look at the video. Play video. Okay, it's very clear. Let's have a look at this. Let's play the video. So again, it's gone to another page, and unfortunately this video does not exist. So that's terrible. Certainly for a property of this size, and with the resources it's got, and the amount of money that could be spent at this particular resort, that's very unfortunate that their video is actually not working. So let's move on. Let's have a look at the news section. I haven't seen these sections, by the way. I'm just doing this extemporaneously. Now we've got for some reason we've actually got Russian in here now. That's obviously perhaps that's the gentleman in the picture, but yeah, you've clearly got Russian language here. You've got that's a Facebook post or a link to a Facebook post, so that's a very vague news section. There's only one entry there, and it's got Russian in there. Now that's just going to make people go off the site. If they were interested in what was happening at the Andara, they're certainly not going to be interested in that, whatever that is. So that can definitely be improved. Let's go to the Contact Us page. So this is actually not a page as such, it's a pop-up. And this pop-up is a frame. So you've actually got to know to scroll that down to view it, which creates another barrier for people to use it. So from a user experience point of view, that makes it harder to use than just a flat normal page where you'd have Contact Us. In this Contact Us page, you've got almost every question under the sun. You've got first name, last name, email, address, telephone, state, province, country, how did you hear about us, comments, verification codes. It's far too long. The more questions you ask, the more hoops you're making your guests jump through before they can actually contact you and ask you a question that is probably going to result in a reservation or perhaps something more substantial, like buying some of the property here that's for sale. I understand they sell some of this property as well. So, it's very important that your Contact Us page is super simple and concise. So it's very short. So you just have name. You can have surname as an optional field. They've actually got surname or last name here as a required field, I believe. Or maybe that's, oh no, they're all required fields. So this is a terrible Contact Us page. This could be vastly improved, and it would, without a doubt, result in more people making inquiries, which is exactly what you want. Let's go down to the bottom right-hand corner and have a look at these links. So you've got what appears to be a Skype link there, which is interesting. I don't see that very often. I don't know that there is someone sitting there at the resort in front of a computer logged into Skype ready to take the call. It'd be interesting to see if that actually works. But if there's something obscure like Skype, you must make sure then, of course, that there's someone to answer that 24 hours a day. Clicking on there, we have what appears to be a chat symbol. It says, which unfortunately comes up, email us for a quick response. Now, I tried this yesterday, and yesterday it did the same thing. Now, I assumed it was because it was quite late in the day, but it appears that this is not actually active. So somebody at the resort is not actually logged into this during working hours. So this is a chat form, and what it's doing is it's defaulting to email us for a quick response because no one's logged into it. So it's something that they're not actually actively using or logging into. Probably the same thing for their Skype, and therefore it just shouldn't be there if you're not going to use it as it's intended. Okay, I'm going to look at the room comparison feature. Now this is a popular feature for hotel marketing websites. You do see it on a lot of the high-end properties. For example, I recall seeing it on a Mayfair, top 5-star Mayfair hotel just earlier today. But they did it differently. They did it quite well. Unfortunately, this room comparison has not been implemented as well as it should have been, because when you're doing a room comparison, so we select the 1-bedroom terrace and the 1-bedroom pool suite, we go compare room. What happens is it pops up, but you see how it's all hidden. So the scroll bar on the right hand side here is hiding all of that information, and unless you actually saw that, you wouldn't know that below there is the comparison of the two rooms. So that could be much better improved, obviously, by not using these pop-up iframe things. Okay, just looking along the bottom here, you'll notice that all of these icons are clickable. They're all things you can click on. So that's consistent, apart from this, the free Wi-Fi. So, you think you can click on it, but you can't. So that shouldn't be there. That should be somewhere else and not along the bottom here in the navigation bar. The other thing I don't like on this website that I think could be improved is just this link here to the web designers. So they've placed a link here, and they've placed keywords in there which help with their Google ranking. So when people type in hotel web design, they're more likely to come up in search results because they're using what's known as anchor text there. Now, that's obviously been placed by the web designers, but that doesn't help the property. That doesn't help your website if you've got links to your website designers. It's only helping them. It's definitely not helping you. And apart from the fact that you're losing what's known as Google link juice, it's just ugly, and it just shouldn't be there unless it's been made by arrangement with the website designer. But most of the time they will just pop those links in there, either hope you don't notice or just mention that that's part of their deal. Let's go back to the menu again. I just want to go through some of these sections because I did notice yesterday there were some interesting aspects to it. The biggest problem probably with this website, I would say, is the lack of a reservations or availability button, and the fact you need to click on this menu to bring up the reservations here on the right hand side and left hand side. But I also believe that would not work well on mobile. So if you actually take that down to mobile size, I think you'll find that won't work as well as it should, or those two sides will actually merge into each other. So from a mobile responsive point of view, that's not ideal either. Let's have a look at the accommodation page, which is obviously where people are going to go to compare rooms. So you've clicked on this, and okay, so again, you've got the situation where you've got to use the scroll bar to scroll down. You click on it, and then it pops up another pop-up over here. And then even more photos are scrolling through here on what appears to be a mini slider here. You've then got these icons. There's just so many icons here. I don't even know where to start. These icons are not actually that obvious. I assume that's a keycard access. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. 24-hour phone. Well, this means nothing to me, these icons. So that needs to obviously be redesigned, and there's just not enough text here explaining the features of the room, and you can't see the photos because they're too small. So that's no good. Also, again, you can't click off there or close that. So it's at this point it becomes a bit of a mess. Let's go back into the menu. Now this is a weird one. When I saw it, I noticed this. I thought, what on earth would beach services be? So clicked on this yesterday. Now this is a really bizarre design aspect to this site. When you click on a menu item, nothing happens. It loads the page here, services, but then you've got to click on show detail. So every time you click on a new section of the site, you've actually got to click twice on the show detail. Then it pops up. Okay, I just want to talk about some of the other parts of the site. I've clicked on the Kids Club. Now, in a situation like this, I would expect to see more information about the Kids Club. I'd expect to see its opening hours, any restrictions, any conditions, eligibility for guests. I see these great photos in the background of the resort. You can see one there, the smiley face. So it looks fantastic, but we need more information. You can imagine that a guest may actually look this up while they're at the resort to find out more information about it. So your marketing website, yes, it should be for marketing, but it should also be for guest experience and to provide all the information that a guest may need during their stay. So I've just come down to boutique. I've clicked on that. Now this is obviously a lovely sort of upscale boutique that Andara has. Unfortunately, I need to click on show detail, and then you'll see there's actually a link. So it explains what it is, and there's a link to the boutique website. Now, when you click on that link, what's great is that it's a completely separate site, and obviously it's optimized for e-commerce. It's actually using Shopify, which is a great platform for e-commerce. So they've done this really well, and you can actually see that the site is very, very quick and responsive and works well. So that's a great idea. If you're going to have a boutique, or you're going to have really any aspect of your hotel which can be put or can be placed on a separate website, such as even a restaurant or a boutique, or it may be another profit center like a gym where you're selling memberships. All those types of divisions or departments should ideally be on separate websites for SEO benefits, search engine optimization benefits, and just because it allows people to get to the information they need in one place. Okay, I've clicked on Yacht. I'm looking at what appears to be the Andara Yacht, which is fantastic, incredible. But all I can really see are these images of the yacht, which look great, but click on Show Detail. That's all the information I get. You can imagine the investment they've made in this yacht, and the incredible stories and detail that they could have gone into. This is a classic example of where you would absolutely have a separate website for the yacht, because it's of such value that it justifies doing so, and it gives people who are interested in hiring out the yacht for a charter or a cruise or a wedding or something like that, it gives them that feeling of exclusivity. Whereas when they come to this page and they just see yachts, well, it actually should be yacht if they've only got one yacht, so that's not clear there. But that doesn't give me anything to go by, really. It just says advanced booking is required. I mean, it's almost negative. There's no call to action there. There's no contact this person if you're interested in this yacht. So this could be really vastly improved. Okay, looking at their dining section, this again has great photography, no problems there whatsoever, but unfortunately there's just not enough information. You've got here, indulge in the finest Thai cuisine at Silk Restaurant and Bar, and you've just got a few paragraphs of information there. There's no menu, there's not even a PDF menu, there's no opening hours. It's so lacking for information, both in terms of people that may be booking the resort and intend on staying, and also, of course, people who are already at the resort and want to know more about it and to plan their evening. So, in conclusion, Andara Resort and Villas. This is a beautiful website. It is beautiful because you've got beautiful photography, so that's great. You're so close, you're almost there, but you need to actually throw away the current website that's been custom designed and place it preferably on some sort of template or some sort of platform like Squarespace or WordPress with a decent template, and just do things in a much simpler way. That way people will be able to use the website easily. You need to provide more information about all your amenities and facilities, and you certainly need to obviously get rid of all the stuff down the bottom and redesign that for ease of use. Other than that, what an amazing place. Hopefully I can stay there one day.
Thanks for watching another Locus Focus video. Subscribe and like if you want to see more, or check out our website at locusfocus.co for more hotel marketing tips and strategies. Check out our other videos and give us feedback about what you'd like to see next.